What exactly is Euston Tower, this formidable structure that dominates the skyline of Camden? We wonder what hidden possibilities and transformative opportunities lie within its walls, waiting to be discovered by the community, exploring how it could be transformed into a special place that brings joy, inspiration, learning, and a sense of belonging to the vibrant individuals who call Camden home. As young producers at Beyond the Box, we are eager to learn more about Euston Tower.
I'm Mujamil, I'm a creative producer.
Hi, my name's Nima. I'm a creative producer working on the Euston Tower project.
Hi, my name's Louis. I'm a creative producer at Beyond the Box with British Land.
Hi, my name is Regina.
Hi, my name's Cameron Mia. I'm 21. I've lived in the Euston Tower area my whole life.
Hi, I'm Rabia. I'm a Camden creative producer.
Before we begin our journey into Euston Tower, we join Woods, one of the creative producers, as he shows us around his neighborhood in Camden. Woods takes us to his favorite chicken shop, a place that embodies the community spirit of Camden.
I've been born in Camden, born and raised in Camden. Pretty much this street here. This shop here, not a lot of people know it's a bakery as well, but it's a bakery and a chicken shop. And the bakery has been here since the 1980s and the chicken shop opened in 2003. But me growing up here, I've been eating this food like since I was in primary, secondary. And I always used to say it's the best chicken burgers. So 2020, me and my brother bought it and now it's ours.
I've lived in the area all my life. We're in Drummond Street right now. And this is Simply Chicken, where I've been going probably for the last 19 years of my life. Well, I've been eating here at least. The thing I come to get is the Simply Spiced Chicken sandwich. I think after you try it, you'll want it too.
Now that we've explored the neighbourhood and experienced the local flavour at Mudge's favourite chicken shop, it's time to connect with residents of Camden. We want to hear directly from the locals, the people that surround the tower day to day.
So part of our video we're putting together is looking at Euston Tower. How much do you know about Euston Tower?
Well, first time I hear it from you.
Okay, so do you even know where Euston Tower is?
Not really, no.
So it's the really big tower, literally just outside your shop there, the really big one into the sky.
Where is it?
Big
After Santander?
You could just see it, yeah. It is literally this one here. This big tower there.
This one, yeah? This is the HM Revenue, isn't it?
So my name is Aurelia. I'm manager for this company, the company called Palma Barbers.
Okay.
So it's a quite big company. We have 7 stores in London, in New York as well.
Oh wow.
Yes,
okay.
We have a big team. The business has been around since 1896.
Okay, so hit a lot
So
of
it's
history
been a
then,
while,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
So hi, welcome. This is Hopscotch Women's Centre and we specifically work with women who are on the intersection of racial and gender inequity. So they come to us with issues around domestic abuse, poverty, welfare benefits, housing, homelessness, mental health issues, and people who are very far from employment, very, very far from employment. So we come and we help them and build up their confidence and their skill set so that they can start being financially independent and move the furthest away they can be from coercive control.
I have 3-4 businesses in the area.
Okay, what are the other businesses?
The other one have top of the Great Portland Street Station. We have cobbler shop there and and the shoemaker.
Oh, I've walked past that a couple of times.
Yeah. And we have 90 Cleveland Street. We have Fitzroy Cleaners. We do dry cleaning and laundry there.
Yeah. So
and this is our main shop, which is we making the shoes. We are specialized in handmade and bespoke shoes.
So I'm Daniel Pitt. I'm Creative Director and Chief Executive in full of Old Diorama Arts Centre, and I've been here for the last 2 years. We're an arts creation and community centre. We have 12 spaces for performing arts and community projects, and we also run our own projects at the points where sort of arts and social action meet in the local area and the Regent's Park Estate from the centre.
I mean, it's a really nice area. I think it would be nice to get, you know, people around as a community to do some, I don't know, like festivals, street markets, something a little bit buzz around. It's really busy toward Tottenham Court Road, but this area still feels a little bit quieter.
This organisation has a long history in a previous building on the edge of Regent's Park, and the name Diorama comes from that building.
I was just wondering, in terms of Regent's Place and the Euston Tower, how much sort of familiarity do you have with the tower itself, obviously being in Regent's Place, the old Diorama? Do you know much about it, the history of it, or not really?
Working here, I sort of became much more aware of it, partly because it was being decommissioned not that long into my time working on the site, on the Regent's Place campus. But we're in a real area of urban environment change with all the HS2 stuff, big redevelopments here, right next, like the bit next to Old Diorama at the front on the back end of Regent's Place here. When I started, was a building site as well, and now it's a really quite nice landscaped corner of the site. And a project that we are running called Stories of Regent's Park Estate, which will culminate in like a public art commission, also a series of 10 public art commissions. We're involving residents in some other urban environment change that the council is supporting.
The bottom bits of the Euston Tower building is going to be redesigned for community use.
Right.
In your ideal world, what would you have it be?
Some kind of space that is accessible to local communities.
Do you feel like the tower itself visually, what do you think of it visually? Sort of, how does it make you feel when you're sort of walking through Regent's Place, do you think?
It doesn't fit in anymore.
Okay.
It's quite outdated, and I think a lot of London's towers have either been refurbished or sort of more beautiful in some way, and it definitely sort of sticks out.
Yeah. If there will be some, activities or some, stuff to do, I would go, because I do go out in central London in general. So if there's like some, attractive.
Something to sort of draw you there almost, would you say?
Yeah, 100%.
They're bringing community together, making some functionality for the people not working, help them to find jobs or give them space there. Maybe they can develop themselves and they develop some skills for themselves there. This will help the community. I mean, as I am a businessman, I'm trying to help to run my community much as I can, with even the street people or the others people, to bring them out of the street to have a job. Or we are quite a big community around here, and if you put the strength together, we might be able to change a few things here.
Definitely.
Having gathered insights from the working people around Euston Tower, we set about bridging the gap between locals and key stakeholders. We wanted to foster a meaningful dialogue about the tower's potential role in the community. To accomplish this, we organised roundtable discussions bringing together both residents of Camden and representatives from British Land, the company responsible for the tower. This collaborative setting allowed for an exchange of ideas, enabling us to gain a deeper understanding of the community's aspirations and providing British Land with valuable insights as they explored the possibilities for a potential reuse of Euston Tower.
Hi, my name is Łukasz, and my gender pronouns are he, him. I am the Executive Director at the Mosaic LGBT+ Young Persons Trust.
My name is Vanessa. I'm the Creative Director of Uncoat the Storytelling Arts that works with young people and children.
I'm Diana, and I'm a resident of Somers Town for a very, very long time, and to which end I started a museum. I did many community projects.
My name is Justin, and I'm 12 years old, and my favourite hobby is doing things.
One thing I like about the area is that there's always like a football pitch through. I want to go play out with friends. It's obviously sometimes not always going to be open for people to play in. There's always going to be people there. There's always a pitch open.
What pitch do you play at?
Well, it depends what's being used. There's one in Simon Lithgow. There's another one just behind it. Then there's one in Camden. park as well.
Okay. And what is it about said football pitch? Is your favourite thing? Like, is it the community? Is it just being able to like be carefree there? Like, what is it?
It's like being able to like just have fun in general.
In terms of infrastructure, I quite like the idea of something much like galleries or museums, something that is like frequently created and curated and kind of devised by the participants themselves.
How can Euston Tower make a positive and practical change in the community? So that said tower we're talking about, how do you think we can like adapt it to better the community?
I'd say maybe like a gym. I know that for in like normal gyms for adults you have to be 16 plus to go. They're not really accessible to youth, especially if you're trying to be healthy. I think that should be encouraged, not discouraged if there's no like accessibility to gyms. So I think that would be cool.
100% more accessible food banks and community kitchens so people can access more food when they need it.
I believe that too. I feel like the food banks, especially the FY is doing, is a really good thing.
And I think there's something really important about kind of creating an opportunity for startups to kind of come in and use the space and use the facilities here, provide spaces for creatives.
I'll say like a safety hub for people, for young girls and youth basically, to have a safety hub if they're feeling like they're in danger or they're too scared to go home or they can't go home. Maybe it could be a safe space where they can stay for a bit, speak if they need to, get food, get blankets, something where they can rely on it.
So British Land's owned Regent's Place for coming on for 40 years now, but over that time we've actively been thinking about how can we open this space up and connect it into the community. And over time and over loads of years, there's been, a lot of the buildings have been, redeveloped, new routes and pathways through to connect beyond the Euston Road into all of the streets behind it. Active decisions to, for example, bring housing in, cultural and arts uses with existing organisations like Old Diorama on the campus. And we know there's more to do, and that's what we're thinking about with Euston Tower.
I love the idea of you could even do master classes, so the people that work in the higher up in the building maybe go down and do a little talk on their expertise or whatever, a little workshop kind of, and then you could do internships or a scheme to progress into it, because I think that's when you combat disconnects, because I feel if not, you've got the community level and then those working above it. It's nice to have a pathway, I guess, metaphorically upwards as well, even just the layout of it, them being above almost is quite interesting.
When I was in secondary in sixth form, I used to take the 18 just down this road, and I never stopped off here until they had table tennis tables, which is years ago, but because my friend just lives down the road. So every day after school, we'd just come and play table tennis for hours and hours. And I think that's what made it feel a bit more inviting for us. If it wasn't for them table tennis tables and we had to go to this little office and ask the guy for bats and balls. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have come here. But I feel what Regent's Place is really nice is that in the summer they got the big screen out. It's really nice. But I feel why don't they have more things like that throughout the year? But maybe exhibitions or things like this where local people can just come, or maybe someone could be busking or something, little busking spot. I don't think so.
I think as well another point that was quite prominent throughout the discussions was the idea of obviously the community inclusion, but being done by already existing community organisations or stakeholders, as opposed to potentially brands or whoever moves into the spaces running their own community inclusion programs, because I think as well for the current existing community members and organisations, it's a bit of a lot of them do already exist, but they maybe don't have the output or necessarily the infrastructure or whatever to do it on a larger scale that maybe the individuals moving into the building sort of have more so.
Was that based around a feeling that someone that's kind of starting from scratch but with a big checkbook might kind of just go off in the wrong direction?
Yeah,
in a slightly misguided way, or a way that doesn't properly resonate with.
Yeah, pretty much that, to be honest. Yeah, if you're not careful, a lot of sort of redevelopment projects can sort of throw a blind eye to existing communities or organisations and individuals, and I think all of them were very sort of, there's a high level of scepticism regarding that interplay of whoever moves in and that sort of longer term community approach.
How will you ensure Euston Tower and the Regent Place Plaza inviting to the local community? They might feel as though it's exclusive to the corporate workers in the plaza. How will you stop this mindset?
I think kind of coming back to the sort of parent and child mentality, or I mean that's like one end of the spectrum, isn't it? Because it's for anybody and everyone, but by creating space that feels like you can go and use it like it's just an extension of your garden, or you can just stop by any time of day and have a game of table tennis. And so it's about trying to make space as inclusive as possible and not feel like anybody is excluded from using it.
The other thing is for us to deliver that vision and that kind of public space. The first way is these conversations and local input, because we don't have the answers of all of the specifics. So it's really important to us to be having these conversations and understanding from a really broad local perspective what will work, what won't, how we can best achieve that. If we're having these life sciences businesses or what have you above, and going back to what we were talking about of how we connect people locally to that, for me the sweet spot is, in a way, to provide a space that is inviting to the local community or that is responding to local aspirations, local need, local challenges. There's kind of like, you could do anything, couldn't you? And it could be successful, but what is the biggest opportunity where the type of businesses in the area plus the local, need, aspirations, where do they best meet? Because if we can find that space and, through the design, through the operation, through all of those different factors, that's probably where we can, it can be most meaningful for everybody.
I think for me, it feels really nice to be heard by you guys, but I feel like from kind of our first roundtable, I just know that if the organisations were here sitting with us right now, they probably leave feeling really happy, because they've told us about times where, for example, they've just been shut down or they haven't been able to speak to the right person. So for me, I just feel quite privileged, because even though I'm part of this community, there are a lot more people that probably should be having this conversation with you guys that hopefully we can be representative of. But yeah, just thank you for sitting here with us. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for inputting all your time, and I really enjoyed the discussion.
That was really good. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
After the enlightening roundtable discussion, we were deeply moved by the diverse range of perspectives and thoughts shared by the participants. It sparked a newfound sense of curiosity and inspired us to connect with local residents on a more personal level, aiming to create an intimate setting where meaningful conversations could take place. These discussions served as a catalyst, fueling our determination to explore creative ideas and opportunities that could bring about positive change and make a lasting impact in the community. Inviting locals to talk with us at the CDC Photography Studio in Kilburn. Being in a photography studio setting provides a unique opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of a person, capturing their essence and story through the art of photography.
I'm Sahara, I'm a photographer, a teacher by career for many years, and I'm a studio manager with Camden Black Creatives as well.
So that's your connection with Camden?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us, Naseem. I think it's the first time we're meeting. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know of you.
It's the first time we're meeting. It's nice to see everyone here and see the lovely atmosphere here, which is really good.
My name is Shofi. Currently working for Camden Giving as an alumni manager. So Camden Giving is a grant-giving organisation. We fund various projects and residents borough-wide in Camden.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
I'm Edward. I was born in 1945. I lived near Grenfell Tower in that time, and then moved to Euston in the early 50s, and where I live now in the mid-60s by the Cumberland Market, which is fairly close to the Euston Town. So I've seen a lot of changes in the last 70 years.
My name's Adam. I'm a student and I live in the area, and also a panellist of Camden Giving. And I've lived down the road of Euston Tower my whole life, so that's my connection.
First, if you can maybe just tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
At the moment, I'm a councillor for Regent's Park Ward and have been for the past 21 years, and I've just come to end of my term as Mayor of Camden, second time, and I was the first Bangladeshi, first Muslim Mayor of Camden, and also the youngest mayor in the country back in 2003. And I used to actually work in Euston Tower for British Telecom, and I grew up in the area and I suppose like in terms of the area I know a lot of history.
Yeah, so as somebody who worked in the Bloomsbury area, which is quite close to Euston, for quite a long time, I was there for about 16 years, I've seen the changes. So from markets going from local markets selling clothes quite cheap on a budget to turn into food market.
The concept behind the Big Local essentially was what happens if you give kind of a large sum of funding to residents with kind of little strings attached, with the idea being, what sorts of ideas do they have, what sorts of resources do they need to bring these about. So it very much is that idea of like grassroots projects. It's things like building up community gardens. It's been things like people trialing out kind of like market stalls on a street market, or just like small improvements around the community. And so yeah, really just that idea of very kind of small projects all around the community.
How does your work at Camden Giving, like on a broader, tie in with the residents of Camden and what?
I think my work is absolutely amazing in terms of empowering local residents to, be put in a position where then they have enough power to make decisions on where funding is allocated in Camden, and it's essential. The way we work is a blueprint for other organisations to follow, and we believe it's the people who have lived experience are the best place to make those decisions in terms of building change for themselves and their communities. And I love what I do, and a huge advocate for residents and people power, and putting communities in a position of power where they can make changes for themselves.
Do you think Euston Tower, does it have a key role in the community, or in Regent's Place, would you say?
I've not known it to, but I think that's what we're working on. So yeah, I think it can have a key role in Euston where it is, but they do need to listen to what people say. And there's been a lot of talk of the local community and the professionals, but I said this earlier on, local community are the professionals as well. Through education and through studying, we are the professionals. So it's important to not have that barrier, but to recognise that we are the same people.
I mean, Euston Tower, because it's such a spacious building.
Yeah.
If you think about it in terms of we've got so much space in one building, and we've got a shortage of space density-wise across Camden.
Yeah.
So we're talking I think about 34 floors, and with the space that it has on each floor, there's so much capacity within that building, and I think it'd be good for us to look at what we can get for the community, everyone to work together to get the best benefits for the area.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, even if it's businesses coming in. I think, as a councillor, with the We Make Camden, our strategy is very much about working with everyone. So it's about working with the voluntary sector, working with the community, it's about working with the businesses as well. It's how can we make Camden a better place for everyone.
I know, obviously being in Somerstown, having lived kind of around the Euston area for the last couple of years, I know of Regent's Place, I know of the tower, I know, you know, what goes on inside the tower. I know very little other than that is a massive tower kind of in Regent's Place.
Euston Tower has been like a largely derelict building or empty for like the most of the time, so it's sort of been like a big like roadblock, you know, it hasn't been open for public use, it's been very, very privatised.
Yeah.
So it's been like a massive sort of like block for the community, you know, it's been like you know, it hasn't really enhanced the community. So I guess that opening up for public use would definitely, you know, like incorporate the community into it, because the community has changed for a long time in like the last like 30 years. So I guess that, you know, like you need to, you know, like move with the times and you know, like adapt to whatever the community wants now.
You know, the thing is that I live on the Regent's Park estate, just north of it.
Yeah.
So there's a basic big office block there, one big block there.
Yeah.
If you go back 70 years ago, or you know, 50 years ago, you had a market going through where Brook Street is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Seaton Street Market. There was a market there. There's shops down Hampstead Road. They've all gone. And so people haven't got lots of little shops.
Something that I've heard quite a bit from kind of residents and local organizations and groups is this idea of kind of a natural flow of resource between big organizations and communities. And this idea of essentially how do you create kind of gathering spaces and mixing spaces where all of this kind of knowledge and experience connects with these sorts of like grassroots residence projects. You know, what does it look like for a bunch of web developers to come and connect with residents and help them build websites off of their new ideas? Or what would it take for some people that have really good kind of like business to come in and help residents build business plans, build kind of sustainable streams, those sorts of things. And I think Euston Tower, in its location, being so close to Regent's Park Estate and to Somerstown and to other residential areas, is a prime space to kind of connect those two things, to connect the resource of Regent's Place directly to the community in a way that's very organic, a way that's like very mutually beneficial. And it'd be amazing to see that sort of like space and kind of, yeah, just thing happening in Euston Tower.
How can Euston Tower affect positive and practical change in the community if you think it can? Fund a new development?
Yeah, I think it's having real life opportunities for the local community, and not just on the service level where, you know, we're giving a certain percentage to security guards, a certain percentage to caretakers. We mean like actual opportunities for communities to access those career pathways, and whether that's looking into the sciences, whether that's looking to regeneration, I think that's more meaningful. And I can see that really supporting the local community.
Good luck, and I hope you get you know, a lot of information from a lot of people, and I think it's obviously a great opportunity to make a real difference. You know, I think every space we should look at now and look at what we can do that is best for the area, best for Camden and for everyone. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
What exactly is Euston Tower? Euston Tower goes beyond being a building. Euston Tower can be the beacon within the knowledge quarter of Camden.
We've had everything from councillors to local residents who gave their insights on what they think about the Euston Tower redevelopment and how they think it could be improved and more inclusive to the community.
Actually, I want to start with saying that when I started this project, I didn't know much about Euston Tower, but then during this project, I got familiar with Euston Tower and Regent's Place and filmmaking and storytelling.
I'm currently a student in Camden, so it's really nice for me to see how the Euston Tower is going to affect the borough of Camden.
Throughout this project, I feel like I've really surprised myself. Like, normally I don't try and go out of my depth, but I think I've really been exposed to such incredible things that I don't think I would have had the opportunity to have before.
I love it and I enjoyed it very much, and I met lovely people, so I'm really blessed and glad of being a part of this project. Thank you!
I really enjoyed this program so far, as it's allowed us to really kind of speak to individuals of the local community and find out what they want to see from the project.
I'm just really excited to see what the Euston Tower becomes and how it caters to the community and yeah, I'm just excited for the output of the exhibition as well. I think our hard work will have paid off.
Especially for me to look at it through an artistic lens, it'll be really interesting to see the potential future uses of the tower through our exhibition.
I've loved it. I've loved collaborating with every single person I've worked with. I love the practical elements, learning how to use camera, and yeah, it's been a really great experience, and I can't wait to see how the exhibition and the documentary goes.
Before this project, I never touched a camera before, so over the last couple months I've been able to develop my film and photography skills, which I've really enjoyed. But for me, what really stood out was the opportunity to interview and speak to people who don't have a voice. And I really hope that British Land make the most out of this project and really make a difference within the community.
Three, two, one, action.
It's
a
a
wrap.